and welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. With me is Julio, and you want to pronounce your last name so I don't get it wrong?
Octaviano.
And that's the name of your company.
Octaviano's Home Maintenance, Octaviano's Home Maintenance and Repair.
Okay, so my question first is, how long have you been around the industry?
Just under 6 years as a service plumber.
So do you have a focus on something that your main thing is plumbing, your main thing?
Yeah, so we're gonna focus more on plumbing maintenance, but we also offer other services. Filter changes for AC, pressure cleaning, gutter cleaning. Just basic home care and maintenance services.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this because this is an important question. Are you licensed?
Yes, sir.
Are you insured?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people just say, hey, I'm going to be a handyman, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can do the other thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, I guess you could say, controversy in that. In the service industry, handyman or home maintenance companies aren't typically, too popular, I guess you could put it.
They're falling close to used car salesmen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Why'd you get into it?
Well, simple answer would be, working with your hands obviously is very nice, being able to fix something and know that you did that. But really, I love to interact with people. I love to be able to offer service, and I get a lot of fulfillment out of helping people out and getting their homes up and running right.
It's interesting. In years gone by, before I started to do this, I would do a lot of, for lack of a better word, an apprentice electrician.
Okay.
And there's something about doing something and then watching it work.
It's very fulfilling.
Now,
Yep.
you are in an industry that I can't stand.
Okay.
I would never want to do plumbing because all I can think about is flooding in my house.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
The toilet in the bathroom here, all of a sudden one day started to leak. I didn't know what to do, so I tried tightening it, and I think that just made it worse.
Yeah.
And I ended up putting a thing underneath it. I figured I'd deal with that, but it got worse and worse, and I'd have to come in twice a day to empty it. So I finally got a plumber in to fix it, and it looks really good. He did a great job, but it cost a lot of money.
That's right. So nowadays, what's going on? The cost of business has obviously gone up, right? The service industry is a little bit different. Like if you were to compare it to like a retail business,
Right.
As you grow,
Mm-hmm.
your overhead actually becomes greater and greater. So the larger the company, typically the higher the cost of services. Just to give you an example, the last plumbing company that I worked for, their quote-unquote hourly rate, which again they don't share with the customers. Nowadays you'll notice that a lot of it is just flat rate pricing because if you knew the hourly rate, you'd probably fall on your back. To give you an example, the last company I worked for was at about $750 an hour.
Wow.
And what I feel is that, it's a great service, is what they refer to as an immediate response or an immediate relief service. So, the selling point is you call and you get a service right away. However, I feel like, sometimes when you're in a state of, I guess you could say, panic or desperation,
Anyone's leaking and it's flooding your house?
you just want it to stop, right? So you'll pretty much pay whatever it takes, or not take the time to really do your due diligence, shop around, because you have an imminent issue that needs to be resolved right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I think in Florida, air conditioning is the same way.
Yes.
Not today, and not just last week.
Yes.
But
Always.
it's interesting that I don't think people think of it that way. Hey, I have a leak, and it's leaking all over my floor. Hey, I need a plumber. All right. It's $1,500. All right. Whatever. Because that $1,500 or $750 or $1,000, whatever, is cheaper than replacing your whole carpeting, replacing your whole house because you got mold.
That's right.
So you're right. It's something that people don't think about when they're under that pressure.
No, and another thing that a lot of people don't realize is water is very pesky. I have a good friend that works for one of these major insurance providers, and he says that majority of his home claims are due to simple water leaks or sewage overflow. Me working in the plumbing industry for as long as I have, I noticed that majority of these failures, they come, really due to three things. It's just it's either lack of maintenance, improper installation, or just age, time. And people have this mentality when they're taking care of their home, where it's almost like a let it ride till it dies mentality,
Right?
and that can work for the most part, but you will find yourself here and there in situations where you're going to have a major issue. It's the inevitable. It's like us. It's not a matter of when you're going to get sick or have health issues. It's a matter of when. Everybody deals with it. Every homeowner or property owner will deal with it at some point.
I say on the air, and I've said it numerous times, some projects are not DIY projects.
No.
Okay? Electric, plumbing, those are not DIY projects. And it came out, and when I explained to you in the beginning, I had a little leak, drop. I probably could have left a container under there for days at a time.
Yep.
But I thought, it's easy, I'll fix it. That didn't work.
No.
And then in one of my houses, I got a $300 water bill because the toilet was running and running and running and running.
Yep.
So what did I decide to do? Because I don't want to listen, because I'm a guy and we're stupid sometimes. I said, all right, I'm going to go to Home Depot, get the inside, the flapper and stuff. I did that. But what I didn't think, and I thought of it myself afterwards, is, no, you got to replace the toilet, at least the tank, because it has rust. And those pieces of rust get underneath the flapper, and water leaks through.
That's right.
So I had to have that fixed. And then one of my tenants put in a high type kitchen sink.
Okay.
And it's a mobile home that one of the mobile homes I have, and it doesn't sit there right. It doesn't sit right. And there's no pressure. And the pressure in that house is terrible as it is. So I think all of those things end up running me extra money. If there's no pressure and I'm using hot water, I'm thinking that the hot water heater is running even more than it would normally have to run. So I think you're right. I think if I call you and say, hey, everything's fine, except the pressure is low. So you don't have to come right away. So I'm not under a pressure situation. So I think that it gives me a chance to shop around.
That's right.
Or for you not to be under the pressure that, hey, this person needs me immediately. I'm going to take care of the important jobs, and I'll get to him as soon as I can, because that's okay for him. So I think those are issues that most people don't understand. And I say it, so if you do a DIY project that shouldn't be one, you're going to have, it's going to cost you in the long run 5 times more in money and 10 times more in frustration.
Yes, we see that all the time in this industry. We encourage people to be as knowledgeable, and it's good to be handy and be able to fix, certain things in your home, but it's also good to know that threshold that you should not pass, right? And certain things like you mentioned, like for me, it's really electric, HVAC, and plumbing. A small issue could always, snowball into a much bigger issue. Like you were dealing with your toilet. Toilet's porcelain. If you go just trying to tighten stuff, you could cause more damage than good a lot of the times.
Okay.
So again, it's very good to know that threshold. Part of what we like to do is education is everything. An educated homeowner, somebody who knows what they have in their home, really, has the upper hand. It's not a matter of, being a pessimist and looking at your home in a negative way. Oh, this is bad. This is going to go bad. No, it's more of having a properly, I guess you call it like a honey-do list, prioritizing things that, really have more of a chance to become a bigger issue, and slowly taking it down. Um, we come in, we'll take a look at your system. We'll do an inspection, typically on every single call if the customer allows. And the intent of this is not to really try to sell you a bunch of services, because as a maintenance company, I'm not going to offer you a replacement for your water heater. I'm not going to offer you to replace your entire HVAC system. However, if we notice that there's issues with them, it's quite important for you to know and have an understanding of what you got on your hands, what it could be, what it is, what it isn't, and that will give you time to process, give you time to shop, call multiple vendors, make sure you're not getting, a highly inflated price, because again, in this industry, you'll see pricing range. It's such it, it can go from pennies to thousands like
Right.
that. Um, so really, the idea is to not only be able to provide a repair service and a maintenance service to people, but it's also to educate them, and let them make an educated and timely decision, as to
Okay.
how they're going to deal
So I have
with
to
it.
ask you this question.
Yeah.
So I explained to you about the toilet and the rust in the tank.
Yep.
So a plumber was there
Mhm.
and said, well, you have to replace the whole toilet.
Yep.
Can't you just replace the tank?
Well, nowadays, a lot of people in the service industry, they tend to lean more towards a replacement. There's really two reasons for that. First things first, things are not built how they were built back in the day.
Right.
We kind of live in a throwaway era,
Hmm.
and a lot of these, like you were describing, like your flapper, these mechanisms tend to fail a little bit prematurely than the original hardware would have. So that's going to be one thing. And then second, when a plumber is coming out to do a repair for you, it's all time. So if the plumber has to find out exactly what type of toilet you have, locate that tank, go out to get it to a special store that may have that tank, you may end up spending the same amount for a tank replacement than for the whole toilet, because there's a lot more time and labor involved with doing it. So it's tough to say. My idea is to make things last as long as possible. You want to get your money's worth out of your toilet, out of your faucets, but there are certain things that you can do to achieve that, but most people just don't know.
So, I mean, why, not to take away from you, but
Yeah.
why can't I say, hey, Everflow is my toilet, I'm just picking a name.
Mhm.
I'm going to go find the toilet tank.
Mhm.
I'm going to go buy it
Mhm.
and call you to replace it.
Yeah, you can certainly do that, and we do like when customers are involved, and take certain initiatives. You'll save money by doing that as well, because again, it's a time factor.
Right.
So when a plumbing company is providing you a part, there is a markup on that
What
part.
about having to pull up the bottom of the toilet
Uh-huh.
and then redo the gasket or whatever,
The wax seal.
the wax seal,
Yep.
then get rid of that toilet and then put another one in and carry? I mean, that's extra time, and I'm not a plumber, so
Mhm.
don't get me wrong. I don't know what can go wrong in the bottom part besides cracking,
Yeah.
right? There's no mechanical parts in the bottom.
No, but again, the toilet's made out of porcelain. If the toilet has been removed, reinstalled quite a few times, the nuts over tighten, you can have issues with the porcelain cracking. A lot of people's favorite tool would be the plunger, right? What seals your toilet to the flange or the pipe that goes underground is a piece of wax.
Right.
So if you go in there and you're plunging the toilet and the clog is beyond the actual toilet in the underground system, I run into this countless times working in the plumbing and drain industry. You'll actually blow out that wax seal. And now even when the clog is done, you'll have residual, sewer water coming out of the base of the toilet. Sometimes you won't notice due to the caulking or grout around the toilet, but it's there. If you've got tile, it'll seep under your floor. You can get a sewer smell coming in. So really, again, there's just so many variables.
So let's take that one step further.
Yeah.
Would it save money if me, as the homeowner, buys the whole toilet,
Yep.
and bring it to the house, and then you just have to come and put it in?
Yes, sir.
So that would save you money from having to go get it and whatever, right?
Yes, and it would save you, the homeowner, on the cost of the service. Absolutely.
So, and again, I hate to sound like I'm taking away from you,
No.
but is that a benefit for somebody who's in that issue? Now, understand something. You have to take the time and go.
Exactly.
You have to now carry this toilet, which I can tell you right now, those porcelain toilets are not lightweight.
Nope.
Okay, but if you can do it, is it a benefit? And would you recommend, if someone can do it, that they buy the toilet, bring it to the house, and
Well, they certainly could. What I would say is, first off, there are different types of toilet, different rough-ins for the toilet.
okay,
So you'd have to know what you're after, first off. And then, like anything else, there's a bunch of different brands, and not all of them are created equally. So I have run into a case where homeowner provides parts, and they're not the right parts. And then again, you get there to do the install, go lucky, happy, ready to go, but you don't have the proper parts there. So what you get by having the plumbing company get that toilet for you, first off, you're going to get a professional recommendation. Hey, you have this application, you have A, B, and C. This is the benefit of A, benefit of B, benefit of C. So you'll have a better understanding of what you're getting, and you won't be dealing with the potential of, did I get everything that this guy needs to complete the installation?
so, and this goes back to DIY projects. If you don't get the right stuff, there is where it's going to cost you 5 times more
Yes.
and 10 times more in frustration,
Yes.
because it won't get done.
It won't get done. You'll have to take time off of work again, have another stranger come into your home and pretty much start the process all over. It's tough to say, Wayne, because it all lies in the knowledge of the homeowner. Do they know what type of toilet they want? Some people are very specific. They stick to a certain brand, or they want a specific aesthetic, and they know what they want, and that's just it. But again, you'll have a professional come in. We will take a look at it, see if what you are wanting, will work, will fit, and then we can go ahead and complete the job.
Okay, we're getting to the top of our time. How do people find you? You have a website? You have a phone number? What do you have?
Yeah. So the best way to reach us is going to be by phone, 772-777-9762. And then our website is www.octavianos.com.
Spell Octavianos, because it's not an easy one to spell.
Understood.
It'll be on the screen, but spell it
Yeah.
anyway.
Octaviano.
Couldn't be Smith. Go figure. Julio, thank you so much.
Wayne, thank you.
Everybody, use a professional. Trust me when I tell you, I've been through it. Quick story is I got a thing from my HOA saying I had to pressure wash my house.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, no brainer. I'll go rent a pressure washer.
Yep.
It took about 8 minutes to make a hole in my vinyl siding, because pressure washing is a science. And all these things that people think about is a skill set that you get a professional to do. Everybody use a professional, and we'll be right back.